Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the 505 Podcast.
Let's go!
Today we welcome a man of many talents. Not only is he an incredible photographer, videographer, and producer, but he's gone viral on the internet more times than anybody we know.
Whoa.
And not to mention a spikeball savant.
Oh.
He is the man behind the magic of the internet's biggest magician, Zach King. So if you want to know what the secret sauce is to going viral on the internet, this is the episode for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nate Norell.
And the crowd goes crazy! Wow, I don't think I've ever been presented that way. I feel so honored.
Well, welcome to the pod,
Pleasure to have you, dude.
Thank you.
Now I gotta do it too.
I can feel the good energy, and I really want you to not mess this up because it could throw off the whole thing that we got going here. So now, because last time we didn't say it, you have to lift it off the table.
Yes.
So
Indents are deductions.
Indents are deductions. So you can't get it set up. You just got to rip it right off the bat.
go.
So please, ladies and gentlemen, small drum roll, please. Rip it.
Off the thing. Oh, that's pretty.
Give me a
solid.
spin. I heard a dent, but I think
No,
it might
you
have popped
didn't.
back out. We're going to log on. It 8-4 to start off the pod.
Let's go.
What do we have a record holder? Is it Babin?
Yeah.
It's Babin
What
on
did
the
he
pod.
hit?
What did he
Like
do?
a 9-2. It was one of the
Jesus.
prettiest ones I've ever seen.
What was the technique?
He literally was just like,
It was crazy.
it was like, no, it was crazy.
No, because Babin was a magician, right? He's got the cards, the
yeah.
flick of the, you know.
So
I
he
have,
knew.
I have much to learn.
Oh,
He
yeah,
knew.
much to learn.
But dude, welcome to the show. We're really happy to have you.
Yes, dude.
You opened that pretty easily. It's because you're on your gym grind, right?
Yeah, no, just been working out, been practicing this. I'm at the gym just popping cans. I'm going around people like, hey, you want me to open your...
They have like a weighted section. It's like, oh, put a plate on that can, please.
What did you work out
plates?
today? Dude, I hit my fucking right index finger, dude. So sore, but
Yep.
it's big.
Dude, my buddy Jacob, when we would be like benching or whatever, he always put put a cookie on there. Put a cookie in there. It was like the 2.5. And then if the cookie would like fall off because he never used the fucking clamps, he'd always say, cookies are done. Like every time. And it was so annoying at first, but now I just like can't stop laughing every time I see a cookie fall off the fucking thing.
Who do you think is more swole, him or Braden?
Jacob or Braden?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Jacob, I just saw him recently. Jacob's fucking huge right now.
Really?
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's just like, he hits the gym every day like 5 a.m. He's determined.
I don't do that, but I go sometimes.
But Braden's I mean,
Yeah,
I bench with him.
there's a
Braden's
difference.
freakishly strong. I think that you guys are pretty comparable.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I'm coming for Braden.
You're not coming
he
for
is.
anything. I'm gonna fucking crush you. Well, Nate,
You ain't coming for shit, dog. Dude, give me a few years.
I want to ask you. So tell us, like, where are you from? Because you're not from the United States.
Yes. I'm originally from the Dominican Republic. My
DR.
parents were YWAM missionaries out there for 27 years.
Oh,
so
crazy. That's awesome.
Born and raised and graduated from high school out there. So
No way.
Yeah, my whole life.
Were you in a village situation, or was it more of like a town? Like, what? Give us like what?
Yeah,
you know,
so
what
that's
your
the question
childhood was
I kind of get from people. It's like, what was we have a Krispy Kreme
Okay.
donut shop. So that
Okay.
kind of gives you like,
What was
Okay,
the
got
line
it.
like
like
we're third
there?
world, but like we've got all the fast food.
Okay,
You know,
okay,
so it's
right.
not like, but you have like rich areas and then like poor areas. So you get the mix of it for
Got
sure.
it. And what were you doing in like high school, for example? Were you playing sports? Were you playing football or anything?
I did soccer for 1 year,
Okay.
basketball for 3 years.
Okay.
Nice,
didn't
nice.
take it anywhere,
You got
but
some
you know,
height.
yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
baller.
Okay. You got good baseball down there, right?
We do,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
really, I mean, kind of the backstory behind it is because when you're just playing with your friends, you actually just take like a broomstick, you just take off the broom,
No way.
and then you take little bottle caps.
Oh,
And then
really?
you toss
Funny.
those. They play like in the streets, you just toss those and you're hitting with a stick. So you go from bottle cap and a thin stick to a baseball with a bat. You're like, oh, dude,
Oh, yeah,
I got,
dude.
you know, obviously the practice. Now it's not everything, obviously. They go to practice after school every day, but
The hand-eye, though, must be
they're
insane.
dedicated, man.
That's
Dominicans
awesome.
are on it and they're really good, very talented.
Did you grow up speaking Spanish as your first language?
I actually grew up speaking both. The best way to put it into terms is like, when you're a baby, you're a sponge. Like, do you ever remember learning
yeah.
English? No, you just kind of.
I do remember. I remember like cleaning up the sink though, because I was a sponge. Come on, dude. Come on,
That one went
man.
right
Yeah, right
I
over.
thought-
I was
I'm
like,
just
yeah,
whoa,
where-
for some
where
reason,
is that?
I didn't think you guys were gonna. For some reason, we had a little something. I thought he was like, just say it. And I was like, I'm
Sorry,
gonna
man.
say it.
I failed you.
Anyways, but
I
you're
failed
right.
you.
You're right though.
No,
When
but
you're
yeah,
a
like
kid.
you just take everything in. And so when I was a kid growing up in both languages in both cultures, speaking English at home and then Spanish everywhere else. You just kind of take it all in. And so actually some Dominican parents will like take their kids around the age of like 3 to 5 and go to like New York or somewhere in the States, let their kid live there for 2 to 3 years to learn English, and then bring him back because then they have so many more job opportunities being bilingual.
And they come back and they're like, I'm walking here. Like,
That's exactly what they do.
it's so funny. I met this guy in Peru who he learned English in London. So he'd speak, he's like, hola, and we'd be like, oh, solo español, or like, inglés, por favor. And he'd be like, oh, hello, it was good to talk to you. Swear to God, it was the craziest, it was freaky. And I was like, yeah, like, quiero lomo saltado. And he's like, oh, it's a bloody good choice. And I was like, that is crazy, dude. It blew my mind.
That's a trip.
Interesting. It was a trip.
So, okay, growing up in the Dominican Republic, are a lot of people doing photo video out there? Or like, what is it like? And what caused you to pick up a camera in the first place?
Okay, on the photo and video, I'm not super in touch with it. I've been out for a bit. Kind of when I was getting into it in high school, I was kind of like the video guy. Like I was the one that like with one of my crazy friends who loved to jump off cliffs. We're like, let's just buy a GoPro. And that was kind of like our first thing we pitched in together, right? And did like crazy stuff like that. And then the school started doing like video competitions because I was pushing out videos.
Oh, sick.
And then, it was just, now we just started doing videos. And with social media and like, that's where the age and time was.
Totally.
But I'm not 100% sure where it's at right now.
Sure.
I just know that they're doing more films and stuff like
Gotcha.
that, like in cinematic aspects. But your second question was,
What caused you to pick up the camera in the first place? Because it sounds, from the sound of it, you've been doing it for a minute. Like you picked it up kind of early.
yeah. So what happened is by the time I was like 16, my dad was like, you're 16. You should probably get a job. Because I never actually worked in the DR. I always did like work, service stuff, but never like an actual job where I'm getting paid. And the deals are right. It just doesn't pay as well as you could do in the States. So I ended up getting a job in Northern California in the Redwood Forest, like working at a camp in the kitchen. But before I got the job, I was like, yo, I want to make sure that what I'm like working towards is like my dream. And I kind of had this mentality, which a lot of you know this phrase is, if your job is what you love to do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And kind of, encapsulating my life around that. And I was like, okay, what do I love? So I wrote down on a piece of paper, I wish I still had it, I don't, but I wrote down 10 things that I love to do. And on the top of it was filmmaking. And what happened was like with school, I just popped up a camera and started filming stuff. Or with school projects, started videotaping things. It just became super enjoyable. My first video that really clicked for me, it's super silly and goofy, but it was my brother's birthday and he was in Australia. And I was like, I can't write him a letter because he'll get there in 2 weeks and his birthday's tomorrow. And I don't want to just be like, happy birthday on Facebook, because that's not deep. It's very like lame. Like, what can I do that showed effort? And so I took my mom's like little Canon camera and you click, the lens comes out, and I shot a video of myself singing happy birthday. But every word I sang, I was wearing a different like costume or outfit.
funny.
So like happy birthday to, so super poorly edited. But then I got on my mom's Mac, used iMovie, started editing it. I was having a hoot of a time, right? I'm like, this is awesome. I get it together, post it for my brother. And it was just like, how incredible. I made something yesterday that's also creative, different. And then my brother gets to see it all the way in Australia. And that kind of just like clicked for me. I'm like, there's something here. I want to be a part of this. So basically, during working my teenage years, I saved up my money to buy a laptop, a camera. That's what I invested my money into. That's how I kind of picked it up. And then from there, went on.
I love that. My sister turned like, I want to say like 13. She was a freshman in high school, or 14. And I was in like 6th or 7th grade. And I was like just learning how to edit. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna make her a fucking slideshow on iMovie and use the Ken Burns effect, fucking pan in, Beautiful Day by U2.
Come on, of course.
Fucking photos of us. Dude, she's gonna fucking cry. And she really liked it, but like looking back now, it's just like the simplest, like cheesy video.
Yeah, we all start somewhere.
We all
There
start,
it is.
and weirdly with birthday videos, dude. I remember I made my buddy Patrick a birthday video, and that's like when I kind of got into it too. I like filmed, I was like, there's this green screen YouTube effect where it was like a bullet, and I like pretended to like shoot my other friend, and then it was just like red writing. It was like, happy birthday, Patrick. And that was like all it was. I thought it was so fucking sick. You know
Did you
what I mean?
use Beautiful Day by U2?
I know it was more like blah, blah, blah. Like it was pretty intense. Yeah. So I'll sing that later for you. If you want to hear.
Perfect.
But, so you moved to Northern California to get work because you think you
In
can
the
get more money.
summers.
Oh, got it.
Teen years just came for the summers, worked up there, 2 summers. Came back to the DR, obviously, to finish off high school.
Is that where your parents are originally from?
Where, the DR?
Yeah. No. In Northern California.
No, actually, my dad's from Minnesota. My mom's from
Word.
Alaska.
That's where I'm from. Minnesota, dude.
Wow.
go.
My dad's
Your
also
mom-
from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Your mom's from Alaska?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Her dad was kind of one of those that like missionary plane, like 2-seater, taking food into the villages. Like one of those
Okay.
crazy stories.
And so did you want to get into the missionary stuff at all when you were down there in high school?
Yeah, so basically my parents were missionaries, so kind of my life was surrounded by mission service and stuff like that. And kind of when I clicked into the film, I was like, yo, video and social media, there's these two words that stuck out to me. It was impact and influence. I'm like, they have this and I want to be a part of it. And as I got older, going to college and pursuing film, it kind of clicked for me in that moment was I want to use this for like missions. I want to go to a country that's in need with a ministry that's on the ground and be like, hey, what do you guys need filmed? I'll film the necessity, super cinematic, and then I'll get it out online and then let the internet do its thing,
Sick.
Whether it's a website or just straight up on YouTube or Facebook, but like, you never know. It's like crazy with social media, how people get connected. It's like, hey, I saw your video about there's a need of pastors in Alaska. My uncle's been studying and he feels called to and you just share. You never know who it hits. And then it's like, wait, I feel like I'm supposed to be a part of this, whether it's donating financially or volunteering. And then in terms, I'm like, that's how I'm going to make my little dent on the universe, just being like helping people get connected to make the world a better place. They're helping each other out. So I thought that was awesome.
So how did you determine like you could make the leap into doing video and stuff like as your career? Like where's that leap come from?
Yeah, I guess it never was like maybe a career idea. I never really thought about like job where I was just like, this is what I'm going to do, if that makes sense. And so when it clicked, like, this is what, like, if your job is what you love to do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. I still was like focused towards missions. That was the goal, which is kind of a job. You're getting, sponsored by other people, but you're not really making money off of it, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You got people donating to you. Like, hey, I support you as a missionary. So that was kind of the idea behind it. And I would go to college or drop out of college, which was an idea at one point. And then I just travel from one place to another. Just be a nomad, going everywhere and just like making videos and traveling.
So did you love to travel? Was that one of the things?
I love traveling. It's just so fun. I love airplanes. No matter what seat I get, I can sleep on airplanes. It's just a fun time.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
Are you a neck pillow kind of guy?
The movies, though.
I should get one.
Yeah.
But I just use my jacket.
You just raw dog the plane.
Just raw dog.
Just
straight up.
Just you and me, buddy.
Dude, I saw this tweet of a girl that was like flying to Europe or somewhere even farther. And she goes, this dude just walked on the plane. No neck pillow. No fucking book. No
coffee.
phone. He's just completely raw dogging this flight to Europe, like a 14-hour flight. Just sitting.
That's when you should be scared. You just see him walking with nothing. It's like, there's something
That guy's
about
got
this
a
guy.
plan for sure. Yeah, that's terrifying. I would freak out, dude. No, like
you
no
ask him what's your
movies?
deal. Be like, what's your deal?
Yeah.
Where are your headphones?
Yeah.
Where are the AirPods? You left them, right?
You got plans.
You got robbed
in
on the
Europe?
way. You got robbed on the way in.
What are you doing next month?
Yeah. I mean, I would be worried. I'm like, I hope he's not staying by me because my shoulder's probably his next plan. He's going to be sleeping on my shoulder. Definitely don't want
he's
that.
Just a sleeper.
Yeah.
Where's the
Also
craziest
darker.
place that the missions took you? Because you would travel for the missions, right?
Yeah, so I mean, there's missionary trips all the time. So basically, the missions would happen in the Dominican Republic.
Gotcha.
Like we'd be doing outreach within there, or like going to like leprosy centers, orphanages,
crazy.
crazy stuff, like being the hands and feet on the ground. But being in high school and whatnot, I did like one of my crazy trips was like to the like Amazon River, like in Peru,
sick, dude.
and we went to the Urarina tribe. It was like a tribe of people where you're in it, like there's no signal, there's no nothing, like. There's like girls wear red, like they wear like that's the color. Girls wear red, and it's crazy. Like the culture's so different, but you're going in there with like very much head down, respectful, trying to learn from them, but being helpful. Trying to
That is wild.
be of service to them. We brought like medical efforts to them.
And did they all speak Spanish? So were you able to communicate with them, or did they have their own dialect?
Own thing. I don't even remember. I'm gonna be honest, but it wasn't Spanish. It wasn't Spanish. They had their own thing going
That
on.
is so
No,
crazy.
hablan español.
Yeah, definitely their own language, because when they were trying to, I remember there was a group of like translators trying to translate books for them, and it was like this whole process.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's like really amazing that you got to do that. I don't know how long you were doing it for, but like that's not something a lot of people get to experience.
Yeah.
Is there something that I'm sure you've taken away a lot and still keep a lot that you remember from when you were doing that? Is there something that you can take away from that that's like the most important thing, or something that you hold like closest to your heart from when you were doing that?
I don't know exactly, but I mean, I think it's always good to be like trying to make the world a better place. I know it can sound cliche and very general, but like you never know whether it's going to a different country and being of service, like helping them, whether medically or building stuff or painting even walls at a school. Like you might think it's so like not needed, but you don't realize how much that really helps even that ministry that like doesn't have the finances to pay 20, 30 people to paint like a whole schoolyard that they need to move kids into, you know, stuff like that. But at the same time, I think you don't have to go across the world to make an impact. It could be your neighbor. It could be saying hi to someone on the street that's having a bad day. I mean, there's both the necessity in the sense of like physical needs and material needs, and also the emotional side. And I think that's what I learned being in LA is like, I think I was so focused on missions and being like, I need to go and do things, and actions are what count. And social media doesn't matter. And then you realize like things like even this podcast, you could say, or a movie that someone watched actually like made their day or changed their life, or someone was on the brink of like going over the, you know, they're on the edge and they watched something that made them realize like life is worth living. You know, it's just crazy. Like we all struggle with different things, and being a part of that in any way of making the world a better place is something I want to be a part of. So.
Beautiful.
I love that. Are you still, maybe, would you go on another mission now?
Oh yeah, I'm so open to it. But my journey definitely drastically changed. So like when I was in college, I was like first year, I was like, I'm dropping out.
Where did you go to school by the
I
way?
went to Biola University.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in La Mirada out here
Okay,
in California.
yep.
But in the first year, I was like, first semester, I was like, yeah, I'm dropping out.
What were you studying?
A film. Cinema media arts.
way.
Yeah.
Really? You didn't
Why-
I already knew because at 16, I was like, I want to do something.
Right.
Did it for
Okay.
2 summers and got like an internship at a church. And I was like, yo, there's actually jobs out there and there's possibilities and video. Like I can do stuff with this. I want to be a part of this, right? Went to college, first semester. I'm like, yeah, I'm dropping. Like, how am I making a difference? Like, you're not going to learn everything through film. You can learn on, you know, we got YouTube, you know.
Right.
I literally just came from a missions trip in South Africa, saw kids like starving,
Right.
you know, in townships. And I'm just like, we were out there literally every day just handing out sandwiches. Like, that's how we were like providing for them and being a part of helping. And I'm like, yo, the need is now. What am I doing here like at a college, also going in the red financially, trying to just pay
Right.
for an education that like I could be learning online, you know?
For free.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So it's not everyone's journey, but college was something I wanted to do. But once again, first semester had that little like panic. I was like, I need to get out of here. And my story really goes along the line because my background's Christianity. I kind of felt God saying like, yo, slow down. Like the weight of the world's not on your shoulders. And I want you to be here for this season. I want you
I like that.
to be here. Once again, people have so many questions like, well, how did you sense that? Once again, everyone has their own
Right.
way. But for me, it was very much like kind of calming my anxiety of like, I just need to go. Instead of like, yeah, you go. It was more like, hey, you know,
Let's take a breath.
don't
Yeah.
stress out. Like there's always going to be a need. Sometimes you need to be trained to then, you know, address the need. So felt like I was supposed to be at Biola. And so I did that for 4 years. And during that time, it was interesting, but it shifted from, even when I graduated, it was like shifting from missions because I was like, I'm just going to go. I kept being like, I just want to go. And it was like, you're here. You're supposed to be here. This is where you're supposed to be at. And I think I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't think that passion's fully dead, but it definitely was like readjusted. It definitely shifted. And I think what greatly shifted it was like, I'm not making an impact on social media. Like I work for Zach King. We make videos that are super creative and make people's day, you know, make them smile. And that's awesome. But at the moment I was like, I'm gonna be honest. In the moment I was like, this is meaningless. But I'm just making people laugh and smile. So many other people can do that. Who's out there on the field actually like providing food or electricity or clean water, or actually just making a different, like people are dying out there, you know? And I'm like thinking about this is where my mind, cause I came from that life. And it wasn't till I kind of went through my own journey of going into depression and going into like intense stuff. And it took me 2 years to kind of get through therapy and all this stuff. But through that journey, it's like I also learned what it's like to be on the other side, where I was having a really bad day and I watched the video and it made my day. I'd always see those comments like, oh my God, like I'd post a video and so I'd be like, oh my God, this made my day. And I'm like, how? How did my video about me being a goofball online make your day? I'm like, this isn't true. Until I was at a bad place and I needed something to brighten my day or get me out of the funk. And then that happened. I was like, whoa, this video changed my whole day. And I'm like, wait, I've been so focused on the actions, the applicable, the material, the going out and doing things. And I'm totally neglecting this whole side of like emotional support, mental, the internal aspect. So I think there's many ways people can make impact, and some people are directed towards the material or going out and making action. And some people, like whether they're doing comedy shows or movies or whatnot, they're impacting people's attitude, the way they look at life, the way to view hope.
Could you talk to me about like the stillness that you were saying that you were forced to just sit with during the time of like freshman, sophomore year? Because I'm assuming a lot of people, especially as creatives, we're going a million miles a second a lot of times, right? We're thinking of ideas, whatever. But how did you actually sit back and like, okay, this is what I'm going through right now in my life. This is what I think I need to do. And how did you kind of overcome that? Because I think that tons of people go through that all the time.
The thing that brought me peace, it's so interesting because my journey it's crazy, but like it goes up and down. I don't know what to say. I'm not always in the same place, but back then I was definitely like in the sense of like, if I'm in the will of God, like there's peace there. Like if I'm obeying what he's called me to do, that's where I find like peace, because that's where I'm supposed to be. You know, I don't want to be outside of that will. Don't know how I view that now these days, but that's what did bring me peace back then. And I think it was good. It was good. Once again, like I say, the journey, you know, a lot I've learned and grown and done different, but.
So as someone who went to school for film specifically,
Yes.
I know a lot of kids deal with the like, do I need to go to college to do this as a career professionally? How do you feel about that? Do you think you need to go to school and study film to do, you know, what you're doing, or if someone wants to do something similar?
Pros and cons to everything. The answer to that question, no. You don't need to go to college. You can totally learn yourself. But once again, pros and cons. If you go to college, like you'll learn about my story, we'll talk more about, is things kind of came to me in a nice way. Like I definitely worked hard, but like things kind of like showed up. So example, like when you're in college, you're making so many connections with other people that are doing film stuff.
Totally.
And how I got connected with where I'm at now is a friend was like, hey, you should hop on the set. So like you have those connections where if you don't go to college, which you don't have to, it's something I wanted to do, you can just pop in LA, but then you better be at it. You better be like, you know, greeting people, getting yourself out there, making connections, saying, hey, I'm willing, let me know. I'm down to do anything. And I've seen people succeed the same amount of way. And also they don't have all the debt that college brings. So I say to each his own. No, it's not necessary, but I definitely wanted the experience. And I'm grateful because I truly don't believe I would be where I'm at now exactly without it.
Totally.
But also it doesn't mean you can't get where I'm at
Without it.
with like,
Completely.
you don't need college to
Yeah.
get where I was at, you know, like you could have made the connections, but like my connection came through college. So I don't, you know, you never know. I can't look back and be like, what would it be like if I didn't? But it's something I wanted to do. So
We talk about that all the time, is like, it's less about what you learn in college and more so about the connections that you make. Cause like your network is everything, especially out here in LA. But like me and Chase met in college and we worked together all the time and we became roommates, and it's awesome. And I like joke around. I tell my parents, I'm like, dude, college was worth it just simply because I met
Yeah.
Chase.
Literally, dude. Literally.
some of my best friends through college, I
Yeah.
still live with one of them.
Yeah, and like the jobs, like my first video job was through an internship that I got through my college, you know, and that's how I got to move out here. You know, it's like it's very important.
Did you move home after you graduated, or did you stay out in LA?
Stayed out in LA.
Okay.
And then you started just trying to find like work? Are you trying to get paid work at this point, or?
So the day I woke up to graduate, I got a phone call saying, yo, you got the job.
Oh,
And
crazy.
I was applying to work at King Studios, working for Zach King.
Sick.
And the journey behind that is I had worked like as an intern my junior summer with them. Hopped on as like a PA. I'm like, I'm down to do anything. Was like cleaning up in the back. Week 2, Zach shows up. The next thing you know, I'm on camera. Next thing you know, I'm the
Crazy.
camera guy.
No
Because it was like right place, right time. Like the person that was holding the camera was kind of also like working with brands and like creating the ideas. And they're like, yo, Nate holds cameras at college. Like he's a cam operator. That's what I did.
Right.
Like learning to be a DP, but cam opping. So like just hand him the camera. Cause like them was like, we're working. We're making things happen. Hand him the camera. I had the camera. So I was like, what do you think about this? I'm like, you care what I think? You know?
Right.
And like now we're shooting. Next thing you know, now I'm like on every set. I'm traveling with him. We're going around the world and I'm shooting for him.
What camera is he shooting stuff on?
A 5D Mark IV, my man.
Really?
Yeah.
Still?
Canon. It's got the right lighting. I gotta say, just no, right coloring.
Yeah.
The coloring on Canon, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
We don't color any of our videos.
Oh, really? It's all standard
Like
profile?
maybe if we shot like more on the commercial side or whatever, but maybe a little brightness and contrast. But like I'm telling you, I've edited some of the videos and it's just like straight out of camera. It's just so
That's
it's
awesome.
so. I'm sorry, I'm a Canon fan, you know.
Yeah, let's
Braden and I
go.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
C70s. Kostas has
We all Canons
Sony.
here?
He's
Yeah,
got a
there's a
Sony.
little rock Sony in the middle, but it's fine.
But you get to control the coloring, which I'm guessing is what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm also sponsored. It's like not. I did a few TikToks sponsored with Sony Alpha, but
Okay.
like,
No. You know what? Kudos to
dude,
that.
I'm so deep
Yeah.
in the Sony, just like
The system.
ecosystem. You know, Apple and Sony till I die.
There it is.
Unless
Respect.
Canon
I
wants to
respect
pay
it.
me back. I'm telling you, man, everything is negotiable.
Everyone's got a price.
Everyone's got a price.
When you're just getting into it, right? Talk to us about how people can do kind of what you did in the sense of you literally are a PA. You're saying yes to everything. Like, what does that look like? Because I'm assuming you had in your head, you're like, I don't want to be a PA for the rest of my life.
For my mom, a PA is production assistant. You
There
just
it
like
is.
hold people
Production
and they try to
assistant.
walk down the sidewalk.
You know, how did that look like for you? You know, because a lot of people have fucking egos that move out here and they don't realize that you got to do whatever it takes to get to where you want to go. So could you talk to us a little bit about that?
I think I could talk very little about it because I would say I'm kind of like a golden retriever.
Okay.
I didn't really have a plan.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
I kind of just went at it with my high energy. I was like, yo, what's up? Let's do things. Let's
Which
make
is a
stuff,
plan.
you know?
That's a plan.
Like literally
Yeah.
with my job, when I was getting the internship, I showed up on a set for 2 days, was super like, what can I do next? Oh, I got it. I went and got stuff done. And then as I left, I was like, that was a cool 2 days. I got paid $15 an hour. Like, that's why I came here. Like, King Studio is awesome, but like I just came here for a couple bucks and to be a part of something cool.
What'd you blow your big check on?
Probably saved it to pay off college debt. Yeah, that's what I did with every penny. But basically walked away being like, oh shoot, I have to finish school. I have to have an internship. And where am I going to go? I don't want to work like at a rental shop house, or where am I going to go? And I was like, oh, they do internships there. So I kind of just hopped into. So
Sick.
basically, like, very much just like hopped from one thing to another. I just hopped into there, and they're like, hey, work for us. And I was like, oh, let me finish my senior year. Finished senior year. I'm like, you got a job for me? And they're like, we like you. You're in. So I got the job, and then it was like, where are we going? They're like, we're going to Dubai. We're going to like
Crazy.
we're traveling the world, and I'm just like 3 months out of college. I'm like, Dad, what is happening? I've been around to like 6 countries already. He's like, dude, just the favor. I'm blessing on
That's
you.
so fun, dude.
So I mean, I do want to speak about the idea around it. Like, I've seen people that I've surrounded myself around that have like started out as PAs and now are like killing it as producers. And really, I will say it's like their attitude. Like, you can't have an ego if you're coming out, especially it's also different seasons, right? If you're locking in like brand deals, you're making grands, of course you're not going to PA on a set because you already got your thing going down, right? But if you're out here and you're like trying to make connections, there's a lot of things you're gonna have to say yes to. A lot of things you're gonna have to work for free. I mean, don't abuse yourself. Like, certain things you work for free, but then after like the third time of that same person you're working with, like, things change over time. It's situations. But I mean, the dude I live with, who's awesome, he basically, it's a long story. Basically, PA'd on one of my short film sets was Zach King, and he was my right-hand man, ride or die. He was like, dude, I got you no matter what. And I was barely paying him anything because I didn't have enough, but I like needed another PA truck jar or whatever. So he was there early in the morning at 5 a.m. with me, late at night when we were dropping equipment off. And I just walked away be like, this guy is so solid, such a great attitude, funny, hardworking, that basically when I came to the studio and I was taking like a hiatus from the studio, they're like, hey, we need more producers. And I was like, hire this dude. Hire this dude. He's not a producer. He's an actor, but he has the right attitude and he can learn. And I think people rather surround themselves by people that are kind, have a good attitude, good work ethic, that are willing to learn, rather than someone that's very skillful but very not fun to be around.
Completely agree.
And I don't mean like not fun, like, oh, they're not fun. It's like they're actually a pain to be around. They're negative. They have a bad attitude. They show up late, like all that stuff.
Yep.
So it's crazy. And now his whole life, in a fun way, has been
We
changed
try
around.
to hammer that home a ton on this podcast. And like you saying, it just reiterates it. I remember the first time we met, we went to go pick up Nate. We went on like a hike to like some waterfall in Malibu.
To Malibu, the Malibu Dam.
Yeah.
Cliff jumping.
And I get in the car, or Nate, you get in the car. I forget if I was already in. And he's just like, what's up, man? Like, tell me about yourself. And you just like brought such like genuine, nice, big energy. And I was like, fuck, man, I kind of feel like I already know you. And I was like so drawn to you because of your energy. And like, that just goes such a long way. Like, you bring that to set and you just like meeting people. I think if more people went about it how you do, like, opportunities will present themselves. And I don't think it's a mistake that you're getting all these opportunities, because being a good person just goes such a long way, and you'd be surprised at how far it can take you.
Huge. I mean, that's what my dad says, like, kindness and good attitude would take you so far. That's what I kind of carried with me. I mean, it's honestly what kind of got me the job.
Right.
Literally, I go into the interview. I'm like, hey, well, I kind of want to interview for the job. Like, sweet, like, come on in. This is how the interview starts. They say, hey, yeah, so we had like 20 people working, and I asked the manager that was like handling everything, who would be the 2 people they would hire from those 20 people? And I was like, oh, Nate and this other person. And it's because you had a great attitude on set, and you were always like, what can I do next? What can I do next? And then you did it. And you didn't just go and sit down. you were proactive about it. So it goes a long way. It's like people remember that.
Really does. And that's like something that'll always make you successful, right? Like that'll always help. You go Zach King right away. What is that like environment? I mean, I've watched like probably all of his videos, like especially like growing up, dude. I was like, what the fuck is he doing with the whole thing? Like, how does it keep going around? Like
The loop
videos. Okay, first of all, my questions. How much planning goes into those? Like just days, like big storyboards?
Yeah,
like,
can you walk us through
figure it
like
out?
from the very
Is there a
start?
think room like this? Are we sitting at a table with 10 people and we're like throwing out ideas every week?
I will start with saying each video has its, different scalability of how long it takes. But this is how it works. Mondays, we have meetings. We have our Monday morning meetings at 1:00. Everyone comes with an idea.
Fun.
So everyone, no matter what, like whether you're doing, anything, anyone in the team, they're coming with idea. We're all having fun together, creating ideas, brainstorming. So you come in with an idea. So I came today, Monday morning, came with my idea. It's Helium Zach.
Sure.
So Zach and a friend, they're at a birthday party for one of their kids, and they're both just goofing off, him and his buddy, and they're like inhaling helium. And one guy inhales it, and he's like speaking in a high tone voice, and then they both laugh, and then it's like, your turn. And Zach goes, and then Zach talks, and then starts floating.
Yeah, nice.
And starts going up, and he's like holding on things, and his legs are up, and he's like, no. And they're all like screaming in high pitch, like, no, Zach. He's like, help me. Like super high pitch, whatever.
That is such a good idea.
And then Zach goes into oblivion, and then it's like, done. Or you can loop it and then pan back down, and it starts again, right? We always try to loop it, gotta do loops, right? So everyone comes with their idea.
Dude, that is such a good idea.
God damn it, mate.
Thank you.
Hey, no one steal that.
Yeah, no, hey, whoa, hold up. I'm going to produce that one. So basically, everyone comes with an idea, and then afterwards, everyone votes with like a yellow smiley face and a green smiley face, which, you get both those stickers to put on your idea, and then we see which one got the most. I'm like, okay, cool. So you get a pool of like, what's a good idea with a group of 20 people? Because you want to know what's good. You don't want to just think, I think that's bad, but 20 people think it's good. It's like, oh, maybe I'm in the wrong. So then we go into our second meeting where it's like, all right, producers, which video do you want to produce? Who has open dates or free schedule? Oh, I'm working on this one, shooting Wednesday. Oh, you have a free? Oh, I can shoot that one next week. So they take let's say they take the helium one. It doesn't have to go to the person that created it, but they can take it. And then you go from producing it. You hire on PAs, audio, gaffer, cam op, which is usually me. And then you pick a date. I mean, honestly, we do a little bit of mock-ups, like mock shooting of like, okay, what would the motion camera be? How would we shoot that? Do we pan and whatever? You just want to do a quick mock-up to get the vibe for it, and then you like tweak from there. And then you show up on the day and you shoot it. Our videos go anywhere between, if we're lucky, an hour and a half, but we usually block out 4 to 5 hours for one video.
And everything though is like in camera, right? It's all practical.
Yes, for the most part. Zach
Really?
is a huge proponent of loving to do things practically. Obviously, not everything is practical,
Not the golf ball.
He is like no, it's kind of practical.
That big ass golf ball?
Yes, in a certain way. I don't know how much I can tell, but yes, I can show you later. But it is practical.
Wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
Like,
That's
have you
the
seen the
crazy-
rotating room
That's
stuff?
insane.
Have you seen the rotating room
Yes.
stuff? We actually own a rotating room.
No way.
Legit, just a rotating room rotates.
No way.
Like that, Zach likes to do. He, a very big fan of Buster Keaton,
Sure,
style
yeah.
stuff. Like, likes to do it practical.
So that's why we ask, like, if you're coming up with this idea,
Gotta be so much
are you
plan.
building a set out? Or like, how does, you know what I'm saying?
So right now we're in an interesting phase, which I won't go fully get into, but we went from a studio to a house, trying to find a new place. We're in transition. But when we had the studio, you're building out sets. Like, we built everything in-house. Like that rotating room in the studio. You need a kitchen set? We hired Teddy. You just bring up this dude and he just built it with his crew, just like kitchen. You style whatever. You got, obviously Zach started from one place and now he's at a place where there is a budget, but he puts the money back into the content. And next thing you know, we have sets and we're shooting stuff, and sets swap. You'll have one set and then you just like paint it a different color, change the shades, put furniture around, make it a bedroom. And instantly like, wait, that was a living room, now it's a bedroom. I wouldn't have known if you didn't show me the before and after pictures. Like, we just build sets.
How are you coming up? Because like, I think a lot of people, right, they get struck with this thing where they're like, I can't come up with any ideas. For your job, you literally have to fucking come up with ideas every single week. So do you set aside some time to consume a little bit? Are you like pulling from different mediums, or does it just come to you naturally?
I'm going to be honest. It's hard sometimes.
Okay.
And I'm going to be honest, this week I came up with a good idea. The last 3 weeks have been terrible. And my coworkers will tell you, like, there's even jokes about like just bad ideas, but it's also like, it's a safe space. No one's like, they're just joshing around.
You're
But
at the
like,
water cooler, you're like, did you hear what fucking Nate brought to the table? God,
was like,
he's
dude,
always-
that was bad. No, because also like Mondays are different. Like sometimes I'm coming in, I'm working on something else, and then it's like, hey, meeting is at 1 after lunch. I was like, oh, I just finished eating. I got 10 minutes to come up with an idea. But this morning I was like, you know what? I've had bad ideas. I'm coming with a good one. So I went outside for about an hour and just like started just like writing on my phone, and then like my bro Dylan came up and I was like, yo, here are these. What could we like 10% it? Which is like, what's the 10% to make it extra? And we went over it, and then I talked to 2 people like, here's 2 ideas, and like, oh, the helium one, present that one. And then I did. So
Nice.
yeah. I will say once again, it's more of like a muscle you have to work out. But there is a format with Zach's content, which makes it easier. Is Zach's a character. He does magic. It's either super epic and magical, or it's magical but also goes so wrong. You know, like the tower falls over, the donut, you know, collapses or something like, you know. So it's just that kind of format, and you kind of build around there and have fun with it.
Oh, that's so fun.
So
Yeah.
fun, dude.
And then once again, when you're in that safe space, everyone's coming in with just like all these ideas. Or they'll be like, I don't really have a full idea, but Zach's on the tarmac with a plane does this and he captures it. What's the extra 10%? That's when everyone comes and is like, okay, what's the story we could build behind it? You know, we're always adding 10% to it from different perspectives. And then you're kind of like, all right, that's the new idea.
And do you have like a master looper person that like, because it's always so fucking seamless.
I will say every time we're like, this idea is okay, but what could make it better? A loop. It's just like, it's okay, but how do we make it better? And we're like, we could just loop it. And we're like, all right, we're done with the idea. Let's just loop it. You know, it's like if we can't do anything, we're just like, we'll just loop it.
And like, how did, like, I mean, I don't know, there's more to it, but like every time it's like crazy shit happens, camera's moving, all of a sudden it's like, and then it's just like perfect again. And it's crazy how like, it's like you just pen in the camera in the same spot, or like, I'm sure there's more to it, but like,
I think it's crazy too, though, because everybody thinks you have to have like the nicest cinema camera, and you
Right,
guys are
dude.
making some of the craziest shit that the internet. You have the most viewed TikTok of all time. It's shot on a 5D Mark IV. That's crazy, dude, and that's awesome.
No, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Kudos to you
Hey,
guys. That's sick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
dude.
Thank you. No, we were like shocked. Like we honestly shot that in like an after. Like we came up with the idea. I was like, oh, Harry Potter console. I think we had it like a day before, like the idea, and they're like, all right, let's just shoot it tomorrow. I went to like Party City, got the Harry Potter thing. We just do it. It's actually like dress up, do the glasses thing that we found like in the back of the warehouse. We're going, we shoot it, post it, and then we're like, yo, guys, have you checked the numbers? This thing is like going through the roof. I still wonder if it's a glitch or not, or if TikTok legit was like,
This is it.
like because it was also in the
Holy
season
grail.
where like people like hopping on. It was like honestly like a interesting week where it's like people are kind of catching on that TikTok's a thing. So all the people are like, oh, this is cringe. They're like, wait, maybe this is. It was kind of in that like week span. They're like, oh, I'm getting on it. And honestly, we think TikTok was like, this video is gonna be one of the first 10 videos when people get on TikTok and start swiping, because you don't have to have an account. When you get on, you can just start
Yeah.
swiping.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's like 10 videos, and usually show you like the most like entertaining viral stuff. And we think those first 10 videos, Zach was like number 1, and we just got like all the people that were getting on. Once again, we're speculating. We don't know. But we're like,
Crazy.
bro, this has 2.2 billion.
Yeah, I don't know if you
Are
guys.
you kidding me?
I don't know if you guys realize Nate made the most viewed video on TikTok.
I shot it
Of all time.
I shot it.
shot
I
it.
shot it. I didn't make. I mean, I shot it, but
still, it's insane.
The sex
So
video.
talk us through. So someone comes up with this idea, right? Talk us through what they say, what you shoot, what, like, how is the process? What does it look like? Just curious.
yeah, literally the day before, like, oh, what if we did this, and how do we make it seem like Zach's floating on a broom, but it's like a magic trick because he can't really? And then we're like, well, what if it was like a mirror, you know, reflecting like his leg on the other side, and the camera rotates around, sees the boosted board.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, then what do we do after that? And there's like, what if Nate's like, hey, Zach, is that my boosted board? And that's what I said. I'm like, Zach, is that money? He's like, I gotta go. And I'm like, Zach, give it back. Which is like, when you think about it, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, we're like, yeah, we'll just do it, right? Then it looks like me going to Party City, buying a costume. We're outside. We shoot it, post it. Like, it's just like that. It's, honestly, when you asked me earlier, what's it like working there? It's a fun time.
That's awesome.
It sounds fucking
it's
fun.
It's a safe space to be creative, to bring what you have. I've also had the pleasure of like bringing my gifts to the table. Zach's really a proponent of that. It's like, what are you good at? If we have a spot for that, let's push that forward. So it's really cool. It's like, I want to propel you guys on what you're good at, and then we make ourselves like a cooler team by that, with all these different hats we wear and are more, I don't know, more fulfilling, more versatile.
What do you feel is your strongest attribute as a producer or filmmaker?
Strongest attribute.
Like, what do you feel like you bring to the table the best?
Creativity.
Yeah.
I like to be creative. I've been a producer for 3 years, and I actually just transitioned out of it because the more I got into it, the more I was like, oh, I don't think this is what I'm like gifted at. Like I could do it, but it came at a cost. It was like a struggle and organization. It was very much logistics managing. And I was like, I don't want to be a logistics manager. I want to be either a creative director or I want to be on camera. But I found myself in back rooms putting out fires on the laptop as a producer instead of being on set what I've worked to set up for.
Right.
It's like, okay, I want to change my title. So I shifted to creative director and cam op, back onto camera, which is my original love. Yeah, exactly. Let's go. So basically, I say my attribute would be creativity. And it's also great because I'm in a ton of like brainstorming meetings right now and just like, oh, what if we did this? Or you come up with a different perspective of things. So,
And is that just something that you've always naturally been, just creative, trying different things?
I mean, I don't want to discourage people by saying like, yeah, because if people are like, oh, well, I don't have it. I think everyone can work towards it, you know?
It's like singing.
But like, like singing. Like some people are like, oh, I don't have what it takes. But it's like, yeah, but if you put in the hours, it depends on how passionate. Do you want the dream? Then go after it. And some people might have to work harder than other people. But hard work wins at the end of the day, you know, not just talent. But I would say it has come because, like I said, coming up with that idea to make a happy birthday video for my brother, changing different clothes, like as dumb as it is, it still was like, oh, that came to me.
Yeah.
And I just did it. Like no one told me to. I did it. And that was a small way that then developed over
I
time.
love it.
Where do your ideas come from? Like I personally, I got to go in the shower if I'm going to come up with a good idea.
I've never thought of
Clothes
it.
on.
Clothes on,
Clothes
lights
on
off.
in the shower. It's like, yo.
Clothes on, lights off. Exactly.
They're like,
Candle
dude,
lit.
we need an idea this way. You're like, hold up. Goes in the shower.
No, literally.
It's like,
Sometimes if I just like can't
Man.
quite crack the code of like a video I need to direct, I just go in the shower.
Hans
No matter
Zimmer
what time
playing.
it is.
dang.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever, something about it. 'Cause I don't think you have your phone in there, but like you got something, you got like a little go-to.
Or like if you're feeling maybe creatively frustrated
Yeah.
or like stuck, like do you go on a walk like you did?
I will say my thing is people. I always like to have a bounce where I like to talk to someone about it. It always is helpful. Like once again, today I'm with ideas. I might just brainstorm, but I'm just like, I'm stuck. And when I talk to someone, it just opens up the bounce of like, hey, what do you think about this? Yes, but what if, or yes, and, you know, oh, and I'm like, oh, and then I have a different idea. Like your thing is going in the shower. I need to talk to somebody.
Interesting.
And be like, hey, what do you think about this? Is this good or not? And they're like, yeah, well, what if you change this one aspect? And I'm like, oh yeah, and what if this became a character? And then it just like builds out because I kind of hit a wall and then I'm like, I can't get out of this funk without talking to somebody else. That's my thing.
It's so crazy when someone like you have like an idea that's like 50% done and someone gives you just like a tiniest little nudge, like the tiniest nudge. It's not even that helpful, but then you're like, oh, that would unlock that would unlock, and then all of a sudden the wheels start turning again in your own brain, and then you're good.
It's just like
It's
when you
crazy.
play Sudoku and you're
Yep.
stuck and then you get and you're like, oh my God, that's a number. And then it opens up
the
all
whole portal. The
Yeah.
whole portal. Absolutely, dude.
When did you start making personal stuff for yourself when you got out to LA? What did that look like?
Personal stuff.
Like
in
on
what
on
sense?
social media, like you're making TikTok videos, you're making Insta Reels, whatever that looked like.
Yeah. So basically, once I graduated and started working for the first 6 months with Zach, I'm in the studio and they're talking about PewDiePie, YouTube Rewind, why everyone's hating on it, and all these things I don't know about. I'm a film kid. I'm learning about like directors, how to shoot something cinematically,
Hitchcock,
right?
yeah.
And so from that, I kind of went into my winter break, went back home from Minnesota for Christmas, and I was like, I can't be working at a social media studio and not know what these people are talking about. I need to be on my game. So I just consumed the internet for all the rest of the day. I was like, who's PewDiePie? What's YouTube Rewind? Why are people hating on it? I thought it was a good video. You're like all going deep into everything. And as I got deeper into it, no, seriously, everyone was hating on the video. And I was like, it looked like a great video. And then you have to realize the culture behind it, right? Which is what really shifted everything for me.
I could just picture you in your room, like
Dude, I hadn't.
with like a fucking like bulletin board, and, like YouTube at the top.
Have you
like,
seen that?
I thought it was a good video. Why is it not? Like,
It's not a bad time to do it. What year was it?
2018.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Cold winter, dude. Cold winter.
Cold winter,
All
dude.
you had to do was just lock in and social media.
I didn't have much going on because I'm not originally from Minnesota. Like I had some friends, but like it's not where I grew up, right? So I'm just chilling at home, consuming the internet, and then it kind of led me onto TikTok. I'm watching YouTubers react to TikTok on that show.
Holy
right?
shit.
oh, so did you watch some teens react?
Yes, I've seen those videos. Let's go.
dude, so on YouTube, kids were reacting to TikToks.
Yeah, so YouTubers were reacting
And,
to TikTok.
and they were watching it on YouTube or TikTok?
No, on YouTube.
So
on
YouTube.
They were
sorry.
because
No,
it was the
so-
dancing stuff was freaking people out.
the
and
YouTube
stuff.
page of like
But just how
reactions.
meta is that, dude?
Yeah, no. They bring
crazy.
YouTubers on. It's like, hey, react to TikToks that are going viral. Which once again was still like, what's TikTok? It's kind of cringe, whatever. And everyone's like, yeah, I don't think this is going anywhere. This is like, everyone's just like kind of downplaying, like, I don't get it. It's not that funny. And I was like agreeing. Everyone did. Everyone was like, yeah, totally. And then I went to the comments, and top 10 comments with like 5,000 likes each was like, oh, you just don't get it. Oh, look at you millennials trying to understand Gen Z. Literally all that stuff.
funny.
And once I read the people, having your ear to the ground, the people speaking, I was like, yo, I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to be, am I missing out on something?
Right.
And honestly, people were, because when I first got on, I was like, I don't get it, but there's something I'm not getting. And the more you consumed it, the more you realize it's all an inside joke.
Yeah, totally is.
It's because of 10 videos ago, this person did this, and now this person's kind of doing a playoff or a parody of that. And that's why it's funny, because if you watch that video alone, you wouldn't get it. It was like its own community, its own inside joke. And then I kind of came away from that winter being like, yo, Zach, this is the next thing. But with that mentality, I was like, I want to be able to come to the studio with being like an asset, because I came from, I don't know anything, be like, hey, I understand this app. Let me introduce it to the studio in a positive way.
Oh, they weren't making TikToks at all.
No, they had, back when it was Musical.ly, and it had anywhere between, I think it was like 7 to 9 million followers, but Zach would like post like a video once every month or two. It was kind of like what we do with Twitter or Facebook. It's like our main things are Instagram, TikTok, and all that stuff, but it was kind of like one of those like, oh, just whenever I feel like it, I'm popping it on there too. And so once again, it was kind of like that down cringe, and I was really using it. And I was like, okay, I want to mess around. I want to understand the app so I can help the studio. So I started getting on posting. In 2 months, I had 166,000 followers.
Holy shit.
The boosting of like, you're making content, it's funny, or it's like part of a trend, but it's different. I would take a trend and just go all the way. Like you've seen those videos, like, oh, it's something simple. And then you're like a massive sword or something. You're just going all the way. I did that. And I got to 166,000 followers. And I know many people would be like, yes, I want this, where I'm going. I wasn't sure where I was at in life. And so I kind of got scared and dipped out for about 8 months.
I get that.
Oh, wow.
I was just like, it was like, I didn't want to say like I was going to be famous after that. But like, if you keep on something that's getting you attention, you're going to lead to somewhere that you no longer can maybe be anonymous. And I didn't know if I wanted to give that up yet. Once again, I'm not here saying like, I'm going to be famous.
No,
But I was like,
totally.
you can't, I mean, you can't be dumb and be like, I'm going to work on something's blowing up, and that I'm not going to, like, if you do it. So I was like, I'm not sure. I backed out for 8 months. I was kind of scared. I was like, I don't know if I want this. I was just experimenting.
I would also argue that you're wired a little bit differently than like most people, where like you are so creative. I mean, you're coming up with the ideas for Zach King. Like,
I'm one of many people.
Sure,
I'm not going to take credit for all
I mean,
of
you're
it.
part of the team, like, and you've had, like, you understand how to make a video go viral. Without a doubt, had you stayed on it, you would have blown the fuck up on the app. I have no doubt in my mind. So yeah.
No, I just wanted to take that step back and reassess. And honestly, it was good, because I mean, I can always look back and regret, but I'm like, that's the season I was at.
Yeah.
And then through those 8 months, I kind of honestly was in a place where like, if hate comments happened, I probably would be crushed. I didn't have thick enough skin. And over those 8 months of just going through life and learning whatever, by the time I got back, I was like, yo, I can handle this. And also, this is what I want. And so then I started posting, and I started being intentional. I started over consuming the app, which is how I started realizing, when you say like, I'm built different, it's because I understood the app, because I honestly consumed it, like honestly, like 8-9 hours a day. Like when you looked at like your view screen time thing, oh my God, ungodly amount of time. But because I consumed TikTok so much, I understood the culture and community, and played to that. I was like, oh, this is what people want, then I will make it that way.
When did you kind of come back? Because you took the 8 month, you were on it for 2 months. You took an 8 month hiatus. This is around like 2018. So now are we in like
so Christmas of 2018.
Oh, so now we're 2019.
So basically starting January, February, 2019, then dip for 8 months.
Yeah.
And now we're coming back into like,
What was the stuff that you were making though during when you were pumping out 166,000 followers? What was that stuff like? What was
Once again, I would just see a trend and play to it, because that's what was building the inside jokes and community. Honestly, super simple. You look back, it'd be like a song by Do You Remember?
Yeah.
Like all that stuff. And then literally people just run up to the camera and they just like start dancing. Literally just that simple. And you'd be like, why is this a trend? It was.
Yeah.
And so I would do it where I'm like in my backyard in Minnesota,
nice.
and I'm not running up to it from far away. I'm literally just going down a hill on a sled.
Hilarious.
Then I crash into the camera, it pans up, and then I'm like dancing, or I do something funny. I actually cut my whole arm. It was bleeding. Couldn't show that because they would take it down. But that's a fun story there too. But honestly, just take trends and then be extra, dude.
Okay, got it.
Do a funny bit to it.
one of the first videos I ever saw of yours, before I even knew it was you. It was one of those where it's like, I'd seen the video, I met you, then I saw your TikTok, I was like, oh fuck, that was you. Was the pandemic video, the coronavirus video, where you're in the suits, and it was like the
party.
the COVID club or whatever.
Yeah, the COVID party.
How many views did that get? That was crazy viral.
I think I don't have. It's definitely 32 to 35 million views and 5.2 million likes. That was my one video that went not only viral on TikTok but went to Instagram.
Did you guys see this video?
No.
I feel like I did.
I must have. I feel like I had to have seen it.
Right.
Explain it again. It's like you,
So
like,
basically, once again, this is part of the viralness when you're like, how do you come up with ideas? Like, I'm consuming the app, I'm consuming the internet, right? So COVID hits. Terrible thing. Toilet paper jokes are coming out already.
Oh,
Me
yeah,
they're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
why are the toilet? Which isn't funny. It's like, why is the toilet paper gone? Y'all chill, right? So you got that. Then you got a meme page. It's like it's got like a dude in a hazmat suit on a surfboard. Just a picture that says, "Summer 2020 be like." And I was like, let's go with that. So I was like, what would it be like partying in the summer? Because everyone wants to hang out and have a good time in the summer. So I'm like, what if it was? So we took our living room, brought like. We all lived, we're 9 dudes. I'm like, let's just hazmat it up. You know, we're all quarantined here. Let's just hazmat it up. Hazmat, gas masks, bro. We got gas masks on. And I was like, what I'll do is I'll start with the floor with my feet because those videos always do well. I don't know why, but once again, I consume the app. I realize when you start your feet and pan up, they just do well.
Funny.
You know it. You've seen them. So I start with the feet, walking, attention. I pan up, open the door. I'm wearing a glove. So you're already attention driven. Like, why is he wearing a glove and a hazmat suit? Glove opens. I go to a table, toss my gloves, hand sanitizer, pump, go like this, put it in, pan over, hazmat suit DJ. He's like, everybody, let's go. Pan over, and there's like 8 people just going with like disco lights with my friends. My roommate's a DJ. So we have all the set up. They're just going ham. I pan the camera to me, and I'm just like in it, like in the middle with it. Hazmat suit, gas mask, done. 30 million views. Dude. Goes on to Instagram everywhere. I have Dominican friends being like, dude, I was like out in the boonies, bro. And like this kid came and was like, yo, check out this video. And then they're like, Nate, I went to high school with that dude.
That's
like
so
literally
funny.
reached every aspect of like the internet and the world. And I was like, wow, that's a really good one. That's a fun one.
That's crazy. Did you feel the pressure to like follow it up?
The reason why I didn't feel the pressure, I would say no, because I was doing it all for fun.
Right.
It never was like, oh, I'm going to be a content creator. That's more of a recent thing that I'm like, I want to do this, but it kind of was like, oh, I'm just doing it for kicks and giggles. You know, I'm just doing it.
Which is like what you kind of need to get successful at something. I think it's just like, I just want to do that for fucking fun, dude.
Yeah.
That's so good, dude. I love
Yeah.
that. That's so cool.
What did you kind of shift your content into? Was it always like this going viral situation where you're trying to think of these big ideas and then you kind of shifted to something else? What did it look like?
No, it has always been this viral thing, which I'm trying to shift it though. That's the new journey for me, which is going to be interesting because, for my things to be viral, I put a lot of time and effort into them, and also like there has to be a viral aspect. Like I mix a lot. I mix like the internet culture, what's happening like in the real world. Like once again, COVID. It was like meme and culture of the real world coming together, all connecting over this toilet paper or this hazmat party suit thing. How do we make it a bit that everyone can enjoy and have a good time in this sad time, right? So it's a lot of that. That doesn't happen 3 times a week.
Yeah, no chance.
You can't
can't do
a
that.
Well, I wasn't posting 3 times a week, so I couldn't make it my full-time content or living because I'm posting once every 3 months. Because also I'm like I'm working a 9 to 5.
Yeah, exactly.
I do like trend came out. Okay, working all the way through the night, 1-2 days. Because literally like if you're 2 weeks late,
It's
the
over.
trend's
Yeah,
over.
the trend's over.
So literally I'm pulling all nighters,
Right.
going from work to this prepping because I'm prepping myself, but then I get people to show up. Oh, thank you for those people that showed up. But you know, they show up, I'm doing all the back work and then the post work. I post as quick as I can, and then I'm like, wow, I need time to rest.
It's almost like a 30-second version of a Mr. Beast video where it's like this extravagant thing, and they like those ideas don't come.
They don't come every
They
day.
don't. Yeah.
But if I had a whole team around,
Yeah,
if I actually
right.
pursued it and was like, yo, I'm going to make this my thing. But the interesting factor is I didn't want it to be. I know it sounds so weird because people are like, well, keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, I don't enjoy it on a 3 times a week basis. I enjoy it like, hey, once a month or every 3 months. Or I'm like, oh, this is happening. This is going to go viral. But like, since I don't have a viral idea 3 times a week, when I tried to push them, like, okay, what's next? I'm just like, this is not a good idea. It's there's not much happening in society, and like it just wasn't.
Okay.
And then it would just be skits, and I was like, I don't know why, but I'm not enjoying just popping out skits.
Interesting.
Like that's not what I want to pop out. And so once again, it always kind of stayed. My biggest thing was I don't know what I want to do, what direction I want to do, but I'll pop these out once every 3 months.
And now do you have an idea of what that direction is?
I do. I mean, I haven't started yet. I don't know if I should share it, but I mean, what the hell, I'll go with it. hopefully
If
nobody
you say
takes-
it, you now have to.
Yeah, you can.
No,
follow
it's
through.
it's happening, but basically, I went to this acting class, honestly, just for fun. Again, it wasn't like I want to be an actor. I was like, I just want to try new things. So I went to this acting class, and one phrase stuck out to me, which is very interesting. It said, "The thing you hate most about yourself can probably make you the most money." Really weird concept, right? But you're like, okay, what does that mean? It's more going to actors. They're like, oh, I look like a witch, but I want to be the damsel in distress. And it's like, okay, well, you're not a witch. You're a really kind person, but like you do look the part. So
Right.
go and play that part. Go pitch yourself. Don't picture yourself as the lady in distress, because honestly, we're 50 in a room. We're like, yeah, you kind of have the look of like a really cool evil witch. And it's like, I don't want to be that. It's like, well, play to your
sound
strengths.
like one too.
Play to your, I mean, because you're walking in a room. Yeah. You're walking into a room and a casting director's like, yeah, no. Like they can see
Right.
you, and 50 people in the room that are trying to help you be like, yeah, this is kind of where you kind of fit in this kind of category. Play to your strengths. So what if you hate the way your nose looks, or this
Right.
that, playing those characters that play into that, or you hate that I look like a nerd, I want to be a buff dude. It's like, well, play into that, and next thing you know, you're making millions playing that character. You're not gonna care, You're not
Right.
gonna care. So for everyone in the room, it was like, what do you hate about yourself? They were like, oh, my nose, or I wish I was taller, this and that. So weird. I'm not like an actor. So I came in, and when they interviewed me alone in the room, they interviewed everyone alone. My answer was, I hate that I don't know what I'm doing with my life. That was my biggest thing. I really was like going through a season. I was just like, I really hate that. I'm really frustrated that I'm lost. I'm doing all these cool things, but I don't know where I'm going. And it's not going to happen unless I'm proactive about it. So what do I do? And that phrase is what kind of clicked with me. It's like, what if I made my content about me not knowing what I'm doing with my life? And how do we make that actually viral or entertaining in a certain way that I can build a community? Because you always have another dude on the internet like, this year I'm doing 100. So I'm like, how do I stand out? How do I be something different, trying new things? And so I've bought a prize spinner wheel. I have
Nice.
a prize spinner wheel. And then the title of the whole project is going to be trying new things till I find my passion. And basically every week I'll be spinning it. It'll be landing on skydiving, scuba diving, or doing this, learning how to drift, like all these different things. Because as you try and taste more things in life, you're going to learn, hey, what do I like and what do I not like? Me trying producing for 3 years and walking away being like, yeah, that was I had a lot of fun, but that's not my cup of tea. And I really like being on camera. I miss that. So I'm going back to camera, right? And so as I do more, as anyone does more things in life, you're going to learn, what are the things that I'm drawn to? What are my passions? What clicks with my soul? What do I like to do? And then pursue that. Make a business out of it. Make a career. Do whatever. But I don't think I found my thing. I think it was missions, and then it had to shift with like, I'm out here for this time. I'm trying to figure out what it is while I'm here. So I'm going to have fun. I'm going to go on a journey, bring my audience with it. It's going to change though, because I'm going from viral videos to,
Right.
well, the thing is, my content's viral. I'm not viral. No one knows me. No one knows me. And that's fine. I've always kind of liked that. Once again, I want to be
Right.
anonymous, but like, can't really build a career out of that. So if I'm going to try to, I have to build a community and an audience. So I'm kind of honestly, even if I have millions of followers on TikTok, I'm honestly viewing it like starting from ground zero.
That's awesome.
So when I get like when I get 1,000 likes,
fun.
that's gonna mean a lot to me, because they're like, yo, 1,000 people saw me spin a wheel and do something new with this idea, and they're liking it. Those are 1,000 people. And honestly, I need is like 100 people that are backing you up.
100%.
Yeah, it's not about the numbers, honestly. It's about the community. I mean, obviously, there's money involved with like selling programs or merch or whatnot or experiences, but yeah, I'd rather do what I love and enjoy rather than just trying to get the viralness, you know?
I bet
Excited
you
to
some
see
of them
it.
will go viral though, because you're
Oh,
so
for
good
sure.
at
Yeah,
it.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Hell
Would
yeah,
you
dude.
say, because I guarantee you, at least a few kids listen to you just say that and be like, bro, I don't know what the fuck I'm want to do with my life either.
Yeah.
So for
That's the thing. There's an audience for it. I'm really excited because they're going to be
relatable,
like, dude, I don't know either. This guy's right. I got to try new things. I'm going to be encouraging other people to try new things.
100%.
And that's how
sick
I'm
of-
making my little impact
Dude,
in the world.
If you're sick of people, start like doing like what your weekly thing is, and then they fucking try it too. Like, oh, he landed on
Yeah.
scuba diving.
Yeah,
Time
let's
goes-
go rip scuba diving.
Man. And then we like build a trip out of it. Community, bro. Like, yo, we're going scuba diving this week.
As a
Everyone
squad,
show up.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love that.
That's awesome.
as someone who's feeling lost and in the same position, but maybe isn't saying, I'm going to fucking try scuba diving this week, or wants to try these crazy things like you are. Like, do you have a piece of advice for that kid who is feeling lost, who wants to find what their passion is? And maybe not, because you haven't found yours yet.
Well, that's the thing. I would say kind of go around the bout that I'm trying is trying new things.
Yeah.
It really is true. I mean, there's a lot of people that talk about this, even like Gary Vee, but it's like,
Yeah, he loves that
he
one.
loves that one, but it's so true. And that's really what
No,
got me
it
onto
is.
it too. It's like, you got to try new things. You got to go around. Hard thing for me is I'm such a money saver and was really trying to like pay off college debt. Like right when I graduated, I was like, I'm not letting this be a part of my life. Thankfully, I paid it all off. I hustled super hard.
incredible.
I know. Hey, thank you.
Here we
Thank
go,
you.
here
It
we
took
go.
about 2 to 3 years, but I like every penny to it. But now I'm realizing, yo, you've saved up some money. And like,
boy.
maybe it's time to invest in yourself. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, this week I'm going skydiving.
Right.
It's like about $200 to $400. I'm like, dang, that's 200, 400 bucks. I need to save that for a rainy day. But it's like, bro, YOLO. Hate to say it, but like, you only got one life. You never know what's going to happen. Invest in yourself. And if I'm in a lost place, I think you should invest in yourself. It doesn't need to be with skydiving $400, but you can try different things, be on different sets. I know people that are like in the medical field and like, yo, can I PA on one of your shoots? And I'm like,
Right.
yes, come on. And then they come on like, yo, I kind of like this. And
Right.
then their career changes. Like you got to try new things. That's my encouragement to anyone that's
love it.
lost. Are you trying new things, Kostas?
In
That was a tender one. I could tell.
the bedroom for sure.
Oh, gross. He's not though. He's not.
Yeah, he's definitely not.
No, very vanilla, you know.
Like Emma Chamberlain.
Oh man.
A couple positions, you know.
Oh my
I'm
god.
kidding. I do want to touch on what you did with the Among Us stuff on
Yes.
TikTok. I don't know what the fuck Among Us is. I just know it went crazy viral and you like tricked the whole internet.
Yeah.
So can you touch on that?
So really quick, Among Us is an online game that you can play on your computer or phone, and you can play with friends or just random people all over the world, like a lobby. So y'all enter a little lobby, and then you play. You're little colorful astronauts with different colors and different hats, and you're on the spaceship. And at the beginning of the game, you're either a crew member or you're the imposter. And basically, the imposter goes around and secretly like kills people, assassinates them, and then the crew members are trying to go around and complete their task or discover who the imposter is, and then vote them out. So basically, a little game of Mafia. You
Yeah.
play that. So that was basically the game. And obviously the story of that game is awesome because it was like 2 years online, didn't have a hit. A couple of YouTubers picked it up as it was like going to just get shut down and just blew it up. So cool story for them. But literally I saw it on TikTok. I'm like scrolling, what's this colorful astronaut stuff? Same thing. I would see the video, and each Among Us video content on my For You page had 3 million likes or more.
Wow.
I'd always see it trying to be like 3,500,000, 1 million, 200. Like you'd be like, oh, there's everyone had over 3 million likes. And once again, ear to the ground, what are the people enjoying? I'm like, yo, this is big. And once again, I was like, should I do something? 2 weeks later, when trends usually die, still bangers, videos just popping. I'm like, yo, there's an audience. There are people that are enjoying this. I gotta get into this, right? So I was like, what if I did like a live action version where I like build helmets,
funny.
astronaut suits, like got my friends together? Because also, like again, culture and what's going on. That trend was going on Among Us. And then another trend was going on where like groups of TikTokers were like getting together and wearing masks and being like, guess who we are, and revealing each member every day. And for some reason, those videos were popping off too.
Oh yes, I saw these.
There was a
dude.
group of like
Yes.
people
the
in
British
like,
kids,
British kids in like a
Yes.
big house with
Yes.
like metal.
Yes.
But then there was another group, the Power Rangers.
Yes, dude.
They were TikTok dancers. Like
Yeah.
we're a group of TikTokers. Guess who we are, right? So they formulated their group. Then I come along and I'm like, well, I don't have a group of TikTokers, it's just me. Also, I don't want to make a second page. Because if I make a second page, then I get all these followers, and I'm not gonna. I mean, there was an experiment. It was all an experiment. It's not like I'm gonna make this for the rest of my life. So basically, I figured out that if I privated all my videos on my original account, it looks like I deleted everything, which I didn't. I just privated it, so you can't see it. And then I changed my username from Nate Norell to Among Us the Crew,
Nice.
and then I post a video, and the video is literally us just the intro. If you played the game Among Us, it's the lobby where you like pop into the lobby and then you walk around, you choose different hats, and the game starts. 3, 2, 1, game starts. We did the same thing. There's no story. It's just doing it live action from the same angle above. Did the whole thing with the studio that I worked at. 7.2 million likes.
Wow.
Likes, bro. How
many views does this thing have?
I'd have to look at it.
But like ballpark,
I mean, in that category,
probably like 30, 40 million.
anyway, 35 to 50.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Insane.
And literally the caption was like, also strategic, right? 'Cause I'm like, how do I get the swipes onto the account? I was like, this is our first video. Or is it? Little devil emoji with the smiley face. I'm like, guess who the imposter is? Kind of with like the idea, like, I'm an imposter with my own account. Like, who's behind it? Because then you see that. First video, what are they talking about? Swipe over. I get swipes now because there's people interested. They look at it, one video, 3 million followers at that time, because that's what I had, and verification.
Wow.
So
That's
two things are
crazy.
happening. One, they're like, how does this account have 3 million with one video? Two, it's verified. So is it the legit account? Which I was never trying to pose as a legit account, but people thought I was the actual Among Us platform.
So funny.
And then third thing is, people are like commenting like, yo, I never remember following this account. because everyone that had followed me,
Oh,
when they see that video, it's like,
funny.
oh, you follow this. I was like, I don't remember following this account, but it's my account. Just changed the username. So I did that because once again, I studied the app. I saw someone else do something similar in a smaller scale, and I was like, but in a different way. And I was like, what if I turned it into this way?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like over consuming and being a part of the community and the culture. I just,
You studied
I
it.
studied.
That's crazy.
Why does this video have 3 million likes? Why are there 3 million people that are behind this? And once you do that video after video, swiping over, looking at comments, trying to study each video, do that 8 hours a day.
Dude,
I have a whole library in my head of like,
Yeah.
this is what people are going to
Right.
enjoy. I know what they like because I know they like this aspect of that video, that aspect of this video, and I put them together.
crazy.
We got
Incredible.
something.
I'm telling you, that's literally Mr. Beast on a smaller scale. I'm not even
You're a
kidding.
scientist.
Like you hear Mr. Beast talk on Joe Rogan about how he was crazy and studied YouTube and had his group of friends, and they would all like just study YouTube every day for 10 hours and like discuss about it. And like I feel like you kind of did the same, just like solo.
Yeah.
That's so
fucking
wild.
dope.
So wild.
Yeah.
I got one more for you.
Yes.
What is some advice to your 18-year-old self?
In what aspect? Because I feel like there's
Like,
so much I would share.
If you could have a conversation with your 18-year-old self, if you could meet 18-year-old Nate, what's like one piece of advice you would tell 18-year-old Nate about what's going to unfold?
I don't know. It's a hard one. I don't know. It's like I've learned so much in this new season, and I also like don't regret anything. I know like when you look back, like what I wish I would have told him, it's like I don't regret the experiences I had to go through, whether mental, emotional, or career wise. I think everyone has their journey and everyone learns as they go. I would just say maybe don't stress too much. You know, take a step back, enjoy the ride, but also be proactive about it. I don't know exactly. I wish I had like something. I was trying to think about this
That's
one, but I
good,
just
though.
I
No, I
don't
like it.
fully know because I'm very grateful for where I'm at and I'm very blessed.
Right.
And there is not really much I regret, to be honest. I'm very grateful by how I lived with that mentality. Honestly, with what my parents taught me, it just kind of took it to the next level. But also realize like everything's a decision. It's a decision to be proactive, to meet people,
Right.
to have a good attitude, you know, just like to do things. So I would just say keep doing you, man. You got it, you know?
Hell yeah.
And keep moving forward.
Beautiful.
I love it.
I love it. Where can they find you on social media?
Instagram, TikTok, just at Nate Norell. Just like that.
It'll be linked
in my-
NateNorell.
Sick.
That's
Thank
it.
you. Ladies and gentlemen, please drop a screenshot, tag Nate, tag the boys, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.